Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is what I worked on yesterday. Got some rain, couldn't go planting, so today it's supposed to be a high of 86 degrees. Not sure what the moisture is going to be, but it's already pretty humid. About 7:30 in the morning right now, and it's 81 and pretty humid. You know, it's not quite like breathing over a pool yet, but it very well could get that way today. So I figured I better get this air conditioning hooked up. I don't feel like dying in the cab, and it was either this or get the 190 out with the open station, and I figured this, I've been putting this off for long enough. So I need to go get a belt. I need a piece of flat stock to come from here back, and I'm just going to notch it out just like that one was. This was brackets off of that naturally aspirated engine that my brother put in at 7020. Long story short, all that was wrong with his engine was a burnt valve, and you know, I'm the youngest brother, so you don't listen to the youngest brother. You know, you come up, and he told me what was wrong with it, or what it was doing, and I said, well, honestly, Chris, it sounds like a burnt valve. No, it's worse than a burnt valve. It's this and that. I mean, you guys know how a diesel sounds when they burn a valve or burn a piston down. They just, that diesel knock becomes more of a, oh my God, there's something so terribly wrong inside of there, you know. So long story short, he went through a bunch of trouble to take an engine out of a combine and put a naturally aspirated engine into a 7020 chassis and do all this work, only for it to spin some bearings about 200 hours later. And then he fixed his tractor over the winter, didn't tell us about it. We ended up seeing the tractor over at his other farm and asking him, so he was awfully embarrassed about it. But anyway, that's where these brackets came from. Now, in the naturally aspirated engine, this right here angles down. I can actually show you because it's right here. This obviously is where that engine came from. It's where the pump came from. You see how this pump angles down. So he was able to mount that in there right there on his tractor. Anybody that's familiar with a 7020 knows that the air conditioning pump is actually mounted up here. And that comes into making some pretty intricate, crazy brackets up there. And then this pump isn't the same as what's on a 7020, so there's not the mounting brackets for it. There's not the mounting spots on the pump for the brackets. It turned into a real nightmare real quick when you get to thinking about it. So I get this thing sticking out. It's ugly, but every time I look at it, that's the difference of life and death. No. Oh, I'm kidding. But anyway, I had to cut these out, bend them out. This was the bracket that he had going from here to his pump, and I just ended up using that. And then he also was only using the one belt, so he had the tensioner over there on the alternator. So I had no tensioner on this system, so I had to cut notches there. I ran out of blades, so I ended up doing that with a sawzall, and you can tell, but I ran out of cutting blades for my grinder, so then you can see we're look half-assed okay, and that one's just kind of chewed up. It is what it is. It'll function the same either way, I think. So one other thing, this is a solid line that of course runs right in the way, and I've got this hose that is just perfect. Correct end on there. This right here isn't correct. I've got to get a nipple to take it from this to that. So that's pretty simple. And then my lower radiator hose is going to be kind of a cobble mess, but it is what it is. It's going to have an elbow coming off of this right here, so it'll be a 90 degree straight down. And then because I got to get that down, I don't have the right just don't have the right stuff, and I'm a cheap ass, so I'm just gonna buy a straight. There'll be a 90 piece of rubber, 90 piece of rubber straight into that. So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna head to town, get them parts, get back here, get them on, and with this weather I might be able to get out planting sometime later on this afternoon, so we'll keep you posted.
He just can't help himself but to just come out there and start it every once in a while and watch it. It's turned up. We're just gonna put it that way. Give her some juice! Bob! Give her the beads! Can't wait to see this thing full. Woo!
Okay, so I just had her fired up. It all works. When I turn the blower motor on in there, the clutch grabs, and just a little bit that I ran it, I can feel that starting to get a little cool, but I got a feeling it might need to be recharged. Bob had used all of my distilled water in that, so I just sent him to town to get me some more distilled water. You know, need like a half a gallon maybe to put in there, and I'm not gonna put well water in it, especially because I just took the conditioner off so that AC would fit, which you guys that know about those, and I've explained it before, it's not a filter, it's just a conditioner. There's stuff inside of there that conditions, helps with electrolysis and all that fun stuff. So like with the 190, we just run the Wix brand antifreeze conditioner. So that's what I'll do with this. It'll get wrote down on the oil change schedule. So see this here, tighten these down so that doesn't leak. And as far as I can tell, that's the only thing that leaked after the overhaul, and took a few hundred hours to get it to that point to start leaking. So I think we did pretty good considering that's all it leaked. Here you see my pipes. Brought it right away from it. You can see right here is the most restriction that we got. I had to make that just a little bit more bent and kind of angle this down, but that didn't crease on the bottom at all, just so that we could get there. And I made that a little bit longer, this hose right there, just so that it would bend down out of the way. It's ugly, but it's air conditioning. So anyway, problem being blower motor didn't turn on, so I'm guessing that a mouse must have chewed the wire up in there or something. So I'm gonna take the roof off quick and fix that. I hope. I'll bring you back when I get it working. Okay, so that was literally just a power wire. Accidentally hit the button. This one right here, it's a feed. Got up, first thing I noticed was that was unplugged. So I was kind of curious about the mice, because I took some precautions to keep them out of this tractor last year, and I just didn't smell any. And as you can see, there's not mouse turds and stuff. So anyway, blower motor's working now. Waiting for him to get the antifreeze so I can fill that up, and then I'm gonna let this sucker run for a minute and see if the AC gets cold. If it doesn't, I'll be getting the canister R12 out to charge this bad boy. Alright, so I'm sucking this down. I got my pump out and my gauges. The problem, this was half full when I put it up there, but looks like it got a hole right there and it's leaked out, or the valve is leaked out, something. So it's getting converted over to R134. That's the most important ingredient when you're doing this.
He put some throttle linkage on it. Oh, it's nice too. That's real nice. It really feels like it should, don't it? Good job, Bob. Okay. So if you notice, when I shut this valve off, we're holding the same vacuum. Been on here for maybe 40 minutes or so. Should technically let it go for a while, but I'm not that worried about it. It's obviously leaking somewhere. So we're gonna fill it up, and I got some UV dye for it. So then we'll see what happens. Last time I charged it was 2 years ago, and there was still pressure in here, so it's definitely a slow leak. It might last all summer, but next time I have to charge it, I'll be able to look at everything and figure out where it's leaking. So, but anyway, we got her. I'm pretty happy with that vacuum. Like I said, the pump doesn't really change when you turn it. So you notice the hot side isn't hooked up. High side, hot side, whatever you want to call it. That doesn't fit on there the way that is, and that's kind of a common ordeal. It's getting vacuumed, it's getting filled. You fill it on the low side anyway. System's getting pumped down. So that's that. First, I'm going to try to get it to take this ester oil. It may not without the pump engaging. It probably won't, but I'll give it a shot. They're reusable cans on these, so yeah. Basically, you gotta shut this off, and then we take that off. Hook our can up to there. Turn that on. See what happens. All right, I made it over here, and the air conditioning is just great. So, totally worth it. Sticks out like a sore thumb over there, but I do not care. You know, it looks stupid until you see me sitting in the cab not sweating like a stuck hog. So, ordered a few things. I rigged some springs onto the planter when I was using it to make it work, and I ordered one to replace it because I got 2 springs to hold it the right tension. So got the right one. I got a few extras. Got some brushes. Some new brushes, which it worked fine in the soybeans, so I'm not going to take the, I mean, it put population down to pretty much a T in the soybeans, so I'm not going to take them off, replace them until I get I switch over to his corn, and then I'll already have the plates off then. Yeah, just easier that way. So, with that being said, I think I'm going to leave you guys at this. Thanks for watching, everybody, and hope to catch you on the next one.